PFT on Yahoo Sports. Mike Florio, Peter King, all the biggest stories in the National Football League. And this week, there is no story bigger than the return of Tom Brady to New England. His first game there as a member of the opposition. The Buccaneers take on the Patriots. Peter, how would you describe the relationship between Brady and Patriots coach Bill Belichick during the 20 years they spent together in New England?
I think during the 20 years, it was obviously a tough love relationship between the two. I mean, Mike, you remember the story of Tom Brady actually being called out by Bill Belichick in 2007 in their first team meeting that year. Randy Moss is there. He's sitting in the audience, and he hears Bill Belichick criticize Tom Brady for a throw he made in their last game, the playoff loss to close 2006. And he calls him Johnny Foxborough. And so, Johnny Foxborough could have made that throw. And so I think Belichick viewed that that's how he's going to treat his players. And I mean all of his players. And forever. And I think at the end, Tom Brady wanted two things. He wanted to experience a new brand of football. Remember, 2019 was his 29th season of football, high school, college, and pro. All 29 years he played for a defensive coach. So I think he really wanted to go somewhere, whether it be Frank Reich, Kyle Shanahan, John Gruden, Bruce Arians. He wanted to go to a place with an offensive coach who he felt like would have more of an understanding of him. And so I think that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady will embrace in Canton 12, 15 years from now, whatever it is. But I do think Brady wanted a breath of fresh air.
The relationship, in my view, strategically distant, and that's how Bill Belichick treats all of his players while they're playing for him. He doesn't want to get too close. He doesn't want to let personal feelings cloud the decisions that he inevitably will make. And, hey, when you're the coach of a team for 20 years, there's a lot of guys that you eventually decide are no longer good enough. At one point, they're great, heart and soul of the team. You get to a point where, unless they get injured or retire on their own, you got to make that tough decision. And we know his reputation is make the decision 1 year early instead of 1 year too late. So he never really was as close to Brady as other coaches may have been. And also, Brady had that healthy fear, and maybe it was an unhealthy fear of Belichick one day saying, for what we pay this guy, dollar for dollar, we could do better. We could do better. That's one of the reasons why Tom Brady never took top dollar. He never wanted to be the kind of drag on the salary cap that would make him susceptible to Bill Belichick potentially saying, we're going to do to him what we did to Drew Bledsoe. We're going to throw the highest paid player on the team overboard because we can do better with somebody else. So there was always that willingness to call him out. Peter, you tell the story about 2007 with Randy Moss and Dante Stallworth. Chad Johnson went through the same thing 4 years later. Think about it. The year with the lockout, no offseason program, no anything. You get back together. You got plenty of fish to fry to get a team ready. And Belichick spends the beginning of that first team meeting ripping Brady for how he played against the Jets in the playoffs prior year and scared the hell out of Chad Johnson. So, I'm surprised Brady was able to last for 20 years in that kind of an environment, Peter.
Look, here's the other part. Here's the other part of this, Mike. I mean, look, Belichick knows that football is a continuum. He had a 43-year-old quarterback, a quarterback who was going to be 43. He knows that he's got to, A, move on, and B, set up the franchise for whatever is next. I don't fault Belichick at all, and I don't fault Brady at all. It was time for the divorce.
Yep, and it happened, and they'll be back together, but it will be anything but the marriage that it was for the 20 years that they were on the same team in New England. That happens at Foxborough on Sunday night. Check it out on NBC, and check us out all season long for more PFT on Yahoo Sports videos. Thanks for some of your time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.